Galway make 3 changes to the side defeated by Roscommon in the Connacht final. Bernard Power replaces Rory Lavelle in goal, while Ian Burke and Sean Armstrong come into the attack. Team captain Gary O'Donnell is selected at right half-back. Donegal make 2 changes to the side that beat Meath a fortnight ago, with Mark McHugh and Jamie Brennan both included from the start. The experienced Paddy McGrath and Neil McGee are named in the full back line, with top scorer Patrick McBrearty selected at corner forward. Good use of possession here from Galway as Gareth Bradshaw looks for a runner inside. Bit of a loose pass, and O'Donnell did well to get the ball out. Now then, here's Walsh. Good shot, and that is a wonderful score. It's Galway's second of the match, and it's come from Shane Walsh. Bit of space now here for Ryan McHugh. Lots of interpassing. Now McBrearty onto that left foot of his. Good for a few points in every match, and that's a wonderful one. That's his second of the game already, and he's managed 122 in the championship so far. And Donegal take the lead for the first time. And plenty of space out on the right touchline now for Gary O'Donnell. Ball inside towards Armstrong. Well taken by Armstrong. Gets away from Gillespie. That's a strong run now from Armstrong. Inside to Burke. And a chance of a goal, and it is a goal by Johnny Heaney. What a goal! Well worked by Galway, and Johnny Heaney gives the tribesmen a 2-point lead. Walsh. Neat pass inside. He'll get the return as well. And Shane Walsh has scored a point early. Oh no, that one comes back off the upright. Unlucky there for Shane Walsh. There's a chance though of a goal surely, and that's a penalty, is it? It is. The referee has given it. There was a trip on Thomas Flynn, and what a chance now for Galway. It was great play initially. Shane Walsh's effort comes back off the upright, then Thomas Flynn followed it up, and then the goalkeeper. There was the trip for Mark Anthony McGinley. Definite penalty. So a deliberate trip is normally a black card, and that is the decision by Anthony Nolan. And Donegal will have to introduce Peter Boyle in place of Mark Anthony McGinley. So Peter Boyle's first involvement will be to face this penalty from Galway's Liam Silk. Chance for Galway to go 7 points into the lead. Silk, and he scores. Calm penalty by Corrifin's Liam Silk, and Galway are leading by 2-6 to 5 points. Well taken penalty by Silk. Good ball forward towards Ian Burke. Into Conroy. Gets away from one. Been tracked back by Paddy McGrath. Still Conroy. Conroy under pressure. And that one has just gone inside the upright. Wonderful score by Paul Conroy. One of the points of the match. And Galway lead by 8 points. That's a strong run now from Gary O'Donnell. Route 1 ball inside. That's a good one to Burke. Oh, wasn't sure what to do. Was going to do it or pass it in the end. They lost it, but they've won it back again. And there may be a goal chance here. And it's Johnny Heaney's second goal of this first half. And where was the Donegal marking? Well, really, that's a soft goal. As Galway will score. Johnny Heaney, his second of the game. And Galway lead by 12 points. Henning, and that's a good score from the substitute. And Donegal definitely need more of that. And that ball out now as far as Johnny Heaney. He wouldn't have dreamed of scoring 2-2 in the game, but that's what he's managed so far. Ian Burke has had a fantastic championship debut for Galway. Gets a nice ball inside to Armstrong, takes a couple of heavy challenges, manages to get the pass away, and that's another one. Galway may be playing into the breeze, but Gary O'Donnell, the captain, has just scored a fine point. And that's a very poor challenge on Shane Walsh by Michael Murphy. And this could be a yellow. Shane Walsh just did a little jink, and yeah, nothing too malicious in it. But probably will be yellow. It's black. Well, Michael Murphy sent to the line now. Oh, it's going to be yellow. The referee decides it's a black, and Donegal have lost their second player to a black card. They early lost Mark Anthony McGinley, their goalkeeper. It's just going from bad to worse. Mark McHugh, great ball inside towards McBrearty. Bottled up though by Declan Kine, illegally so. And Declan Kine is on a yellow card, and he'd really want to be careful. Galway don't want to lose a player. He's going to see the line here. That's going to be a second yellow card for Declan Kine, and Galway are now down to 14. And that's, well, poor decision making by Declan Kine. He was on a yellow, and now he goes for an early bath. Donegal down a man. 14 against 30 at the moment, but they're doing well here now. They can create a goal chance here. McHugh, the ball inside, and surely a chance for O'Reilly, and it's a penalty for Donegal. And McHugh involved, but finally, chance for O'Reilly, and the penalty given. 4 points to his name already for McBrearty. This has to hit the back of the net. And it's been saved, but still McBrearty, and it's saved again by Power. Oh, fantastic double save by Bernard Power. And really, you feel any chance Donegal had of getting back into the match has gone. Thomas Flynn, and a completely muted atmosphere all around Markievicz Park now. As Galway try and finish strongly. There's a chance for Cummins, and a goal. Well finished by Danny Cummins, and that's Galway's 4th goal of the match, and the rout is complete. Final whistle is imminent, and there it goes. Totally unexpected scoreline in Markievicz Park. Galway managed 4 goals, 2 for Johnny Heaney, 1 from the penalty spot by Liam Silk, and a late goal by Danny Cummins. And Galway will play Kerry in the All-Ireland quarter-final. Final score in Markievicz Park: Galway 4-17, Donegal 14 points.
I suppose, you know, we definitely got more ahead at half-time than we anticipated, obviously, but, you know, we did want to hit the ground running. We done that, even though I think it was about 4 points each, and maybe 5-4 to go in the first half, but certainly finished off the first half really strong and left ourselves a bit of a cushion. So, but you know, sometimes those cushions can make you sit back, and in fairness to the lads, you know, they didn't really sit back. There was a lot of cards going out there. There was 13 at one stage and 14, so that happens in games, and sometimes it can throw you off kilter. But it was good to see the boys finish strong as well.
Look, we knew this performance is in us. We knew it was there. Look, we were disappointed at their performance 2 weeks ago, and we dug deep the last 2 weeks, and thankfully we came out the better side today.
Johnny Heaney, one of several of the Galway players who impressed you, particularly going forward, Tomas.
Yeah, Des, I think the foundation to this win was laid at midfield. I think when you look back at the Roscommon game, Galway struggled in so many areas. I think today, I mean, you're starting with Bernard Power in goal, their half-back line, their midfield, they absolutely cleaned Donegal out at midfield. I think up front, you know, you had Ian Burke, you had Johnny Heaney, absolutely outstanding. Johnny Heaney impressed me no end. He was named at midfield, Des, but he was playing at wing forward. He was ghosting in all the time. I'm sure Eamon Fitzmaurice was watching it very, very closely. I love the pan pass here by Ian Burke, straight into the hands, into the goal. It was a masterclass by Galway, but I would have to say Donegal, it's been a long time, I'm talking years, since I've seen as little devilment or menace out of that Donegal defence. They allowed Galway, punched holes in them all day long. You know, look at this, look at the space in here, took his time, picked it into Ian Burke over the bar. And I think the forwards that Galway have, you know, you have Walsh, Comer, Daly, they have good footballers, and they will cause Kerry problems if they don't get to grips with them at midfield. And it was too easy. Yeah. It was too easy for Donegal. I mean, he ghosted in between so many times. Easy scores, and it is something Kevin Welch would be very, very happy. You know, I think overall, I think there was an 80% markup on what his performance. They were flat, but they came out of the traps. But I don't think Donegal helped them in the way they played either.
It's hard to put Galway, compare the two performances to Roscommon, where they were so flat.
I mean, a friend of mine from Glenswilly says to me this morning, he said, thank God it was on Sky. It would have been an awful humiliation if it had been an RTE, you know. And it was, you know, it was sorry watching it, and it was the pre-Jim McGuinness era all over again. That's 2 horrific drubbings in the space of 5 weeks. And
we'll get you to go
genuinely felt sorry for Donegal, because, I mean, the first constituent of championship football is to compete. And after the Tyrone match, we weren't sure. We knew that Donegal had been slack defensively, but we sort of went with, well, Tyrone looked very formidable, almost awesome at times in that game. But when you watch this, You know, a team that were beaten by Roscommon, beaten out the gate not 2 weeks ago, destroying them so that at half-time it's 3-9 to 6 points. I mean, 3-9 to 6 points. And I mean, there'd be a sort of a bat signal in the sky for Jim McGuinness to come back from Beijing if this continues.
We'll get you to illustrate that in a moment. But what about Galway? Were you impressed with Galway, or did the Donegal performance take from it?
Well, I mean, you know, Galway looked very lively, and they've got some good forwards. And unlike, say, Tyrone, you know, they've got a killer instinct in on goal, Galway. You know, they've got forwards who are natural forwards, and they look for goal. So, for example, when Tyrone, you know, destroyed Donegal, they laboured to one goal that was sort of fortuitous, whereas Galway today put them away, you know, in fine style yesterday. So, I mean, Galway looked good, but within the limitations, Des, that Donegal did not compete at all, and I felt very sorry, I must say, for Michael Murphy, who was labouring all over the field in a hopeless cause, because, of course, whenever an opponent like Galway, who needed to restore their reputation and their self-respect after the Roscommon game, senses that you're in that bad place, I mean, they're going to absolutely annihilate you, and they did it gleefully, but they did play at times very, very well. But within that limitation, that, I mean, Tomas was talking about trouble in Kerry. Well, I mean, there's absolutely no way that Kerry are going to be standing off watching the opposition like that.
Where will Kerry find their scores against Galway? What is their weaknesses there?
I think they have to compete at midfield, Des. I think, you know, Thomas Flynn, I think Paul Conroy had a great game, but at the back, I mean, Donegal were cleaned out at midfield, yet they absolutely, anytime the ball went in, there was an ocean of space. Now, if Galway come to Croke Park next week with this type of space, with the likes of Gainey, with the likes of Donoghue, with the likes of Donaghy inside there, they'll be eaten up. They'll be eaten alive. There's no way that they can survive that. The balls that went in, McBrearty, to be fair, was the top scorer for Donegal. He was the only threat from play. Now, you add in Kerry, they'll have half-forwards running at them. They'll have midfielders running at them. The Galway full-back line were all over the place. There was too much space inside there. Sometimes they didn't know who was marking who. McBrearty had the run of the place, 4 or 5 points again yesterday. And it is an issue for, I think, everywhere else they improved. I don't think they improved there. And I don't think we saw it, Des, because I don't think we saw it. Because look at the ocean here. They win it at midfield, they go direct, and it was completely. Now here, with a sweeper back, the long ball is cut off inside. Therefore, Bardshaw hits a great shoulder here, by the way. An unbelievable turnover. If you force Galway not to go in long, then they could be in trouble. You know, and I think
you've got to accept, Tomas, that Donegal set up with McBrearty in the full forward line, and they play a very one-dimensional game as they did against Tyrone. So the man in possession solos forward. He then hand passes it back to a teammate coming at the diagonal. They then hand pass it back. It's very laborious. It's very easy to track. And Galway weren't under any particular pressure as a result. Plus, Donegal weren't doing it with any real intensity. I mean, you're dreaming. I think Kerry will murder them, I have to say. I do think that Kerry are very finely tuned now. And you can see that they are most seriously going after the Dubs in every respect.
Well, we'll chat about Kerry in a moment.
There's a gulf between the two teams.
Okay, but take us through Donegal yesterday. You said it's the end of an era yesterday, is it?
Well, I mean, I like everyone else, it was thrilling to see what happened, the metamorphosis, whenever they were being beaten out the gate by Armagh by 14 points in Cork in qualifier games, and then Jim McGuinness came in and made these promises, and it started to come out that Jim McGuinness was saying, look, we're going to win an All-Ireland, and everybody was laughing, and we thought it was hilarious. And then we saw the way that they played. And I mean, you look at this yesterday. Here's Comer getting the ball, and there's Frank McGlynn trying to follow him. Comer goes on, gets a return. Just watch that. Now, 3 years ago, Comer would have been swallowed up there. He wouldn't even have got the ball in the first place. He would have been swallowed up. He'd have been hit.
McGee's everywhere.
Oh, I mean, and they would have been breaking out at speed, surging away. Now, of course, you can hear, like, Peter Calvin, for example, always makes the point that Jim took everything out of that group. There wasn't anything left by the time he was finished.
Yeah, but you see,
you'd have to say, Donegal have a lot of young players there, new players
good
there.
Young players.
Yeah, good young players, but how do you excuse then this slackness all over the pitch? Galway aren't world beaters. They're a good team. They won Division 2. They're a good team and they play some very good football. But they're not world beaters. Donegal were in Division 1 this year. There is a bigger underlying problem with Donegal now, a lack of confidence, a loss of faith, and a system that is very one-dimensional and that inspires no confidence. And I think there must be big issues around Rory Gallagher's regime now.
In Donegal, big time. The levels have dropped. Joe was talking about, there was no way, the way they used to break out of defence, the way they defended, the way they attacked kickouts, It's completely.
There's only
in
so
all
many
levels.
years you can do that, I suppose. And
But I
I'm
remember
not sure-
saying it. You couldn't. I said it at the time. If they keep going for 5 or 6 years, the way they train, the way they play, it'd be a miracle. And it turned out that they couldn't do it.
And
You know?
perhaps reflect.
They've lost a lot of players as well, Des.
Of
An
course,
awful
exactly,
amount,
and that must be said, and there's evolution. But one player yesterday just struck me, I don't know what you thought, the substitutions, 2 substitutions, there was great joy for a Galway one, but Frank McGlynn going off for Donegal.
Who
One of
has
the
been,
great
who has
players at
been one of
Donegal.
the great players,
Yeah.
a fabulous
Unbelievable
footballer,
player.
fabulously skilled player, tremendous athleticism, great personality on the field, a winner through and through, and one of Tim McGuinness's go-to footballers. But you know, this happens to all
And
of
in
us.
contrast, Michael
Great
Meehan
to
back
see that
from
man
injury,
back.
which
We
is
all, there comes the time when we all make the long walk to the bench and somebody says he's finished, you know.
comes earlier for some than others. Anyway,
Exactly.
we're going to move on to the game in Limerick between the beaten All-Ireland finalists Mayo and this